And we're live. And hello, Abigail. I was hoping you would be here for this stream. When I was looking at, is there anything notable about today I can make the theme? And it was the professor's birthday. JRR Tolkien died a long time ago, of course, almost 50 years ago, I think. Yes. Momentous Nerd Day, the birthday of JRR Tolkien. I can hear a weird noise and I'm trying to decide if it's a bird or a cat, because both the birds and the cats around this place make weird noises. Choking on ashes. Hello, hello, hello. On this fine Sunday evening. I'm trying to get a few things done, and got to decide if I'm going to make a cocktail video. So I'm probably going to make a drink. I'm probably going to have something to drink. Sunday night. Not necessarily going to get shit-faced, but have something to drink. Still on holidays. Got another week of holidays, so I don't have to be up early tomorrow. Although I tend to be awake relatively early. Don't necessarily get out of bed though. But God, for last night's chat, the only reason I had pants on is because I had to go and get some dinner because the delivery thing wasn't working. So I had to go and pick up the dinner I promised the family. And so I put pants on and I had the shirt on. I was going to just be wearing my beach pants / pajama pants and the white shirt that I wear to make cocktail videos, because I only shoot cocktail videos from here up. But then I had to go out into the world, so I put real pants on. Still going commando though, but that's okay. But today I've been out and about, so I actually had a shower like a normal person and put clothes on. Chicken Ashes, Sunday morning for you in the UK. Good morning, good morning, and good morning. I've got a few. I've actually got a few things going on. This one, I'm making some of my clear ice here. It's frozen in there. It's just an insulated coffee cup, and so you get, with the insulated cup, you get directional freezing. I've explained this before, but I'll explain it again. The reason when you freeze ice cubes or big things of ice, it's like cloudy with bubbles and impurities in it, is because, in general terms, the ice freezes from all directions, so freezes from the outside in and pushes all the impurities to the middle where they're eventually frozen in place, so the ice is cloudy. If you can induce directional freezing, and there's a number of different ways to do this, but if you can induce directional freezing, as it freezes, it will push all the impurities down. So either you, in this case, because this cup is insulated, it won't freeze from the sides. It'll freeze from the top down. So it'll freeze all the way down, push the impurities down, and either you let it freeze all the way and cut off the end bit, which will have impurities. But what I've found works better and is less hassle, if you get the timing right, is to let it freeze down to the point where you can see the impurities, like the bubbles starting to form, and then take it out, because it'll still be liquid at the bottom. And then if you can get it out, which is why I've got this thing upside down at the moment, I'm shaking it saying, come out, because this cup is totally rigid and there's no way to kind of flex it and get it out. Want it to come out, and then I'll just be able to cut the bottom off, and I'll have a lovely piece of clear ice, which looks nice in drinks. Abigail, what's that? Swilid Engrosi. I used to know some of the Tolkien languages. I don't anymore, or I remember tiny bits of them. I used to write letters to a friend in Dwarven runes, and so that was as much of a nerd as I was in high school. So, and I know hardcore nerds learned Elvish script, which was pretty but much more difficult to write. So I never even actually tried to master Elvish script. But there was a period where I could write in Dwarven runes. But that was a long time ago, and I have forgotten how to. I could always just look it up, I guess, and do it laboriously, letter by letter. But yes, did I mention Tolkien nerd? In high school, I probably, like from year 7 to year 12, I probably read Lord of the Rings at least 10 times. I would read it at least once a year, sometimes twice. I think my record was like less than a month to read all 3 books. Kirsten, Hellion, hello to you. And it is indeed nerd time tonight. Major nerd. Oh, I think this ice is... See, I'm being an ice nerd as well. So I suppose that's physics, talking about how things freeze. That's the motion of the molecules. That would be physics, not chemistry, wouldn't it? And I'm filtering a drink because I made this a while ago. This is Irish Poitín, aka Irish Moonshine, an unaged spirit that's quite popular in Ireland, and like the white spirit. And I macerated or steeped some lemon peel in it to give it that color, and also to give it a bit of flavor. And it had been sitting in one of my decanters. And I thought there was some weird sediment forming in it, and I didn't know if that was good or bad. But I'm filtering it anyway, because it's been sitting there for a while. Filtering it into a smaller bottle because I use some of it, and that bottle has a stopper. So I've got all these little projects happening here, and there's one more. Those who were on the live stream last night. Remember, I made 2 cocktails. The potentially deadly but ultimately safe Hunker Burn and Love for Elvis's birthday, where I put high proof rum on a banana and set it on fire, and I managed to not set myself or the kitchen on fire, which was a minor achievement, quite honestly. So that was a thing that I did last night, and so I was doing like the B-roll for that today, doing close-ups of pouring the ingredients into a mixing glass, and then, as I want to do, decided I'm going to do a milk clarified version of this. That's its first time through. It's going to have to go, because that's really still quite opaque and cloudy. It's going to have to go through at least twice. So that's just going to be going on while we're doing the stream. So I've got 3 little projects. I have to decide if I want to, because I want to shoot one more video for the week. I have to decide if I'm going to do that tonight or tomorrow night, because I haven't actually decided what the other one will be. What else? I was thinking of doing something with a beverage I've bought recently. What else have I bought recently? I did the gins from Geelong and Bellarine. What else have I bought recently? It's, something cool and Australian, not something boring. From Titum. Can't really think of anything. Shieldsy, time got away from you, matey. Time will do that. I might just make this one. I've had this came with the Pacific Moonshine I bought a while back. And I have actually made this. I haven't made it for a video for my stream. I've made it on the stream. I haven't made it as a video for my cocktail channel. This was like their recommended cocktail, the New Moon Mai Tai. So it's the Pacific Moonshine, Mac, pineapple juice, and orange juice. And honestly, that sounds really good. Sorry, why am I saying that? I've made it. It is really good. So I might make that. The only event that caught my eye this week, because I like doing themed cocktails for something that, it's the day of or anniversary of. And Elvis's birthday was the only one that grabbed me this week. Robot Man Greg, how are you, sir? Kirsten C, great minds think alike. You were going to suggest Max. So this is 2 from Brookies. I think I will make that. I think that will be the other video this week, a New Moon Mai Tai. They're a bit cheeky calling it a Mai Tai because it's not a Mai Tai. It's kind of like the way people call anything in a martini glass a martini, which would really upset purists. But I'm not really a purist, so... So if I look it up, Trader Vic's original recipe was rum, orange curacao, lime juice, orge, and sugar syrup. And this is the Moonshine Mac pineapple and orange. Like, it's totally different. I mean, what would you say? The makeup of the traditional Mai Tai is spirit, liqueur, citrus, and sweetener. And this is spirit, liqueur, and 2 fruit juices that serve the double purpose of being the citrus and the sweetener. So I guess formula-wise, it's kind of sorta in the region. Shit, you watching John Farnham at Fire Aid last year. Why not? Why not indeed? You're really going to get into it tonight, aren't you, Abigail? And apologies. Edna Glenn, well, in a year, I'm back. Yes, a lot of people just assume Tolkien was a famous book writer. He was actually a university professor. He was a linguist. And honestly, some people think the stories that he wrote were just an excuse to invent languages, because he did invent so many languages for his stories. World War I veteran as well. Served in the trenches. Actually got trench fever, was repatriated and hospitalized before his divisions were overrun. Yes, Abigail, you are correct. He invented the languages before he wrote the books. In interviews, he bemoaned that England didn't have its own mythology, like Norse mythology or other European mythologies. Which I guess is strictly speaking not true, but that was his interpretation, that the mythologies of the British Isles were not as grand as those of continental Europe. And so he wanted to invent a mythology for England, which is, why so much of, particularly, Hobbiton, it has the vibe of England, basically. Kirsten, you came home from your jaunt. Where were you jaunting, in fact? And yes, Abigail Tolkien did lose all his friends in World War I. While he was hospitalized with trench fever, his position was overrun, and basically everyone was killed. So if he had not been in hospital, he would have been killed. Which always makes me angry. Like, so the writer of one of the most significant works of fiction of the 20th century, was this close to being killed before he wrote it. And so the hideous slaughter that was World War One. What else did we lose? What did we lose? Stuff that would have been written, books, poems, plays, music, and even, just the millions of just ordinary people who didn't deserve to be slaughtered. World War One, so fucked. You've been on an acquisition jaunt, Kirsten. 8 new 700ml bottles of gin and whiskey and some 200ml. Nice. Yes. I'm sure that happened, Abigail. One time with Tolkien, a traveling superhero took him away for a bit on an adventure in space. That makes sense. Jaunted to Griffith. That is a little bit of a jaunt, actually. Say hello to the mobsters while you're out there. Griffith, this is the centre of the mafia in Australia. I didn't say that because I don't want to get whacked. I heard. Is ice coming out yet? This really doesn't want to release the ice. You can actually buy these big ice molds that make a couple of cubes or spheres, and they've got 2 chambers, and you fill them up. So there's the chamber that's got your mold that's either a cube or a sphere, and then there's a chamber that's like the waste ice underneath it, and you put that in the freezer, and the directional freezing goes to action, and your mold is on the top, so that freezes down, pushes all the impurities down to the bottom half, so you get these beautiful clear cubes. But 2 things is those molds are quite expensive and they're really big. They take up a lot of room in the freezer, which I can't really spare. Oh, that's interesting. Kirsten, you got 3 whiskies from Corowa, but nothing from Jindabyne because they wouldn't let you in. Ha! See, Kirsten, you told husband Griffith was the centre for the mob, and he said he'd fall. No, Griffith is the centre for the mob in Australia. That's where they go to meet, away from the prying eyes of the big city cops. Because I went to college out that way. I grew up out that way. And yes, a lot of the vineyards in that area are owned by the mob. 'Cause, they're Italians. They like their grapes and wine growing. But yes, that is mentioned quite prominently in some royal commissions about the mob having a base of operations around Griffith. So it is. There was an Italian restaurant in Bathurst, which is where I went to college with AZ, called the Galloping Grape. That was a place, that was a neutral ground thing where different crime families would meet to discuss business, allegedly. And they're all wonderful, law-abiding people, and I don't want to disappear. Like they give a shit what I say. Hey, look, and nobody on the internet is saying stuff that was in a royal commission and published in the media 30 years ago. So what? All right, I'm going to work with one of my little projects here. I got to put this cocktail through for the second time. Dun, dun, dun. Gotta pour it back through. Because I want it nice and clarified. There we go. Get that action happening. Pour that in. There we go. That might even be finished by the end of this stream. Who knows? If not, I'll put it in the fridge overnight. Music over. Never been to Griffith. Nearly went there with a light aircraft as a pilot on an Angel flight that got canned. Oh, okay. That whole area has the same NBN contractor. Fair enough. Because you also got 3 bottles from a micro distillery called North of Eden. While you watch the evacuation of Victorians. Dear. Yeah, shit's fucked up, yo. I mean, I'm really hoping, for the sake of everyone in New South Wales, it does end up being brought under control. But you won't know till the end of January. It's the next 2 weeks will be very important. But I honestly wouldn't be very confident until unless you got really consistently low or zero infection rates through to the end of January. Oh no, because that does sound heartbreaking. It's the exact same day as the evacuation in front of the fires 1 year later. God damn. God damn. Yeah, it's pretty clear to see other state leaders do not have any confidence in the way the New South Wales government is handling or failing to handle their current outbreak. I mean, time will tell. I'm still, going to be optimistic and point to hope and go, no, maybe they'll get it under control, and this sort of low to middling numbers will continue for a while and then be gone altogether. But there's really worrying stuff like the post-Christmas sales, New Year's Eve, and then the fucking cricket. A lot of dangerous events, one after the other. So, like I said, next 2 weeks is going to be very important, very, very important. Abigail, seeing that the chances of anything coming from Sydney are 1,000,000 to 1, he said, but still they come. I think it doesn't do to take these things too casually. Like the hotspot locations in Melbourne are all around where I live. They're not where I live, but they're all around where I live. So I'm just like not leaving the fucking house for a week or so. So we can but wait and see what happens. Testing clinics being overrun. Fridge making loud noise. What's this? Ooh, an Australian citizen got arrested in Tanzania. Australian woman who renounced her Islamic faith, campaigns globally for women's rights, has been arrested and charged in Tanzania, which is where she was born. Supporters of Zara K say she was summoned to a police station in the city of Dar es Salaam on December 28th, held in custody for 32 hours. 2018, she founded Faithless Hijabi, supports women who've been ostracized or abused for leaving Islam. It's understood she's been charged over a satirical social media post critical of the Tanzanian president's handling of COVID-19, as well as not returning her Tanzanian passport after gaining Australian citizenship. She's also being charged with using a phone SIM not registered in her name, a charge which is being used to prosecute other high-profile cases in the country. Well, that sounds freaking dodgy. Dodgy as hell. It is believed authorities confiscated her Australian passport before releasing her on bail. Unfortunately, that's the sort of risks you take if you're an activist. You upset authorities, they will do shit. Yes, Kirsten, the mask mandate in New South Wales was very, very, very late, but at least it finally happened, I guess. More Tolkien facts from Abigail. Did you know that Weathertop, called Amon Sul in Sindarin, is named after Manwë, Lord of Valar, Master of Air and Birds? Manwë's surname is Sulimu, shortened to Sul to mean breath. Breath of Manwë. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting one, Kirsten. You were tossing up moving to Australia, New Zealand, or Dar es Salaam. You, from the sounds of this, you possibly have more freedoms here than there in Tanzania. Queensland wants anyone who's returned from Victoria to test and isolate. Fucking hell, Southland's on the exposure sites. Oh god, that's so the ones that are around me: Blackrock, Cheltenham. Jesus, all these bloody places. Oh, yeah, I heard that maybe that story about the two who ran off to New South Wales claiming the story's not real. So the health minister said they were told they were going to have to go into compulsory quarantine, and they absconded. Now, in an email statement, they defended their actions, expressed shock at seeing media reports about themselves. Now, it said after they arrived at the airport, they were stopped, who were not able to tell us whether or not we needed to quarantine. So after about an hour or so, walked away. So somebody is lying. Toss a coin as to who it is. So the officials told like the authorities that these people ran away, and they're saying, no, we didn't. I say, Kirsten, that was a decision your parents made, and your mother vetoed Dar es Salaam. Yeah. Although Tanzania is supposedly secular, I would have to admit, as a woman, I would have serious misgivings about living somewhere where the people in power were, adherents to any strict form of Islam. It would not be something I would be into. Sure, you're checking out Trump tweets. It's like, what do we got? We got till, I think it's Thursday our time, when the official presentation of the result of the election to Congress happens, and Trump's trying to cause some shit and get all these fascist bully boy. And I don't use that term loosely. I mean people whose ideology is fascism, Proud Boys, and the other assorted psychopathic fucking fascists in the US, and go to DC and cause trouble. Be interesting to see what happens. And by interesting, I mean potentially horrifying. But I guess we've got a couple of days to find out as to what's going to happen. Oh, Shieldsy, yeah, everyone might be going into a limited movement like last year, but the next, like I said, the next couple of weeks will be very important. Not even if we get good or neutral news for the next 2 weeks, I won't feel particularly comfortable unless we get good results all the way through to the end of January. And then I'll be like, okay, under control. And then they've seriously got to work out, well, what fucked up? And I think what it seems is the way that people get exemptions for going into isolation when coming back from overseas, it's too lax, and it's going to have to be more strictly policed. People are getting exemptions and not isolating and spreading the virus. I mean, it seems very much like that's what's happening. So it might be a bit of a political hot potato, but I don't see how you can avoid that. Oh yeah, Shieldsy, I think you shared that with me. There's a rule in Washington, D.C. about not being allowed to carry firearms. It's not just within 300 meters of the Capitol building. It's within that sort of distance of any free speech event. So the right-wing dickholes carrying guns, much to their disgust, can easily be arrested just for the fact they're carrying a gun. Ooh, what concert were you hoping to go to in February, Musical Aviator? And they're interesting limited forms. Again, if we don't get any bad news, a concert in February seems like a doable thing, but they've got to find out what the fuck was the actual source of this outbreak. And again, as I think it is a political hot potato to say, the people we'd been giving exemptions to, flight crew, diplomats, important people, we can't really do that because they're not fucking trustworthy. And we're going to have to introduce something more strict that they're really not going to like. Thank you for subscribing to Tolkien Facts. Today's Tolkien Fact: High King of the Elves, Lord of the Vanyar, is named Ingwe. He lives in Valinor, in the mountain Tenkatil, beneath the halls where Manwë lives. God, I'm even remembering these names as you say them. Oh, good lord, the ring cycle, Musical Aviator. All right, yeah, well, the whole ring cycle's incredibly long, isn't it? Oh God, Kirsten, where's the gin festival? I would be worried at this point, depending where, actually, pretty much wherever it is, I would be worried at this point. But I'll try and send positive vibes that it'll all be fine. Yes. So, in Melbourne, shite. Okay. Yeah, I'd be worried. I would definitely be worried at this point. Try and stay positive. Do the positive vibes that the cases will be down to 0, and there might be some limits on movement, but not actual lockouts. But dang. So Musical Aviator. It does Ryan Goldie is only about 3 hours long. Yeah. I used to know this. Length of ring cycle. 17 hours. Okay. So the complete ring cycle is 17 hours. And yes, that is normally performed over multiple days, because I would imagine the orchestra need breaks. That Kirsten. I don't love that it was cancelled last year, and that it's probably going to be a little difficult for you to get to it this year. But that's how you went from 4 bottles of gin to 28 in one day. See, I'm not that mad for gin. I've kind of got enough gin. I'd probably be more likely to buy more whiskies. I wouldn't rule out buying more gin, but I think I'd be more likely to buy more whiskies. And I've got a stupid amount of rum at the moment. Yeah, Abigail, I think that's how they do, like the thing that Musical Aviator is talking about, Das Rheingold, 3 hours. I'm sure there'd be at least one break in that. Give the orchestra a bit of a break. Oh my God, it must be demanding. Oh, there we go. Ka-chunk. Got my ice out. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. You can see there's a little bit of broken ice on the bottom. I just got to trim it. There's some impurities. I just got to trim it with, let's see, one of my knifes. All right, right, let's get the shit happening. I'm quite pleased though. I always worry I'm going to get it wrong, because sometimes I do screw it up. Right. Maybe this knife. Just like this. Like saw away at the ice, and then chop a bit off. Didn't quite get that. I'll do a little bit more. I'm just giving you a running commentary because I'm obviously off camera. Okay. Maybe this bit too. Come on. Come on. Need one of them Japanese knives. Right. Just gonna put that in its own little container and put it in the freezer. That worked fairly well, I think. Just got to tip this in the sink so I don't get water everywhere. Sounds like broken glass, but don't worry, it was ice. Whew. Abigail, you've been in 2-hour performances. I had a break, but it's not demanding as you might think it is. Yeah. I obviously am going to defer to your experience because I don't even have experience as an audience, actually. Opera and classical generally is not really my thing. Shields, you need a holiday so you can sing the same place for 12 months. Yes. Yeah, I just took 4 days off before Christmas. I didn't go a long way, just like out past Geelong. But it felt really good to just go somewhere and do something. It was like the first time I'd done that. I don't think I had any other trips last year, actually. Like not even pre-COVID. Because who knew that was coming? Not me, for one. Because I'm not part of the New World Order Illuminati, so they didn't tell me. Shields, you like at Outback, New South Wales? Well, that's where I grew up. So I guess, yeah, It has a certain charm. There is that for sure. Oh, I see. So you're actually obviously quite big on the Ring Cycle Musical Aviator. It's 4 operas. Rheingold's the first and the shortest. The other 3 go for about 4 hours. Rheingold is 2 very uneven acts, and the others are 3 acts. Okay. You've done Mahler's second before, 2 hours and no intervals. There we go. It's probably more demanding for people who play brass instruments, but you're on woodwind, so not so bad. Even easier for strings. I don't worry even, I suppose people do strings that have super calloused fingers. When you're at that level, so many 1,000 hours of practicing, just be sort of mad calluses on your fingers. Because that's the thing everyone says about learning to play guitar even. You get calluses on your fingers and they like fall off chair, and eventually you end up with, after lots of bleeding, you end up with super calloused fingers. But imagine the rigors of being a concert performer a bit more intense than a casual guitar player. Because I don't do nothing about music. I don't know nothing about music. So I'm glad to have a few knowledgeable sources to defer to. Yes, so you live on a beach, but it's not a resort. Yeah. Well, yeah, I live near the coast, but it's, not a holiday place. Yeah. We do want us. Yeah. I'm going to have fun stories to tell, grandkids or whatever. Or just, if we have no kids, just rotten neighborhood kids whose ball gets kicked into our yard when we're old and grumpy and saying, "Get out of there, you little bastards. You bastards don't know what the fucking global Actually, anyone in the future is going to know, because shit's just going to keep happening. Hey, that's me just being super bleak out of the blue, but the sad realization that the future is probably going to be a lot worse than now. You're welcome, kids. What are you going to do? Does anyone else watch the Netflix animated show Big Mouth? They just released, I think it was their 4th season, 3rd or 4th season. It's like tweens hitting puberty and all the drama that goes with that. And when puberty starts to hit, your hormone monster appears, which is this big, hairy, excessively horny creature. And makes you be obsessed with things. And there's one hormone monster who's old and decrepit and falling apart, and it's very unfortunate if you get stuck with him. And he's like, he goes, "Yeah, what are you gonna do?" Kirsten lives in a hotel. Yep. Are you still looking to move into a house or apartment? I forget where things were up to with you. So here we go. Classical guitars have plastic or gut strings that are way easier to play. Steel strings are hardcore, harder to pluck, but for better. Yeah, electric guitars tend to have steel strings. And that's why you get electric guitarists tend to use picks, try and preserve their fingers a little. Oh my God, that was like a weird bit of trivia I heard recently. I've probably even brought up in a live stream before. It's like, Black Sabbath released the first heavy metal album. There's lots of music that influenced what would ultimately be heavy metal, like Led Zeppelin, for instance. But Black Sabbath, widely regarded as having released the first actual heavy metal album. And the rather unique guitar sound the guy had is because he had the tips of his fingers cut off in a factory accident, And so I think he had like plastic tips put on the end of his fingers. So it made a really unique sound on the electric guitar when he's like doing the chords. And yeah, he would not have had that sound if he hadn't had the tips of his fingers cut off. Was it the only pain in your place is people walking through land to get to the water? Oh yeah, that happens to a lot of people in coastal areas, definitely. Also, it is, Abigail, it is actually the fretboard that mangles your fingers. Okay, it's interesting. As I said, the Black Sabbath guy, he already had plastic tips on the end of his fingers because they got cut off. I think he worked in a sheet metal factory, possibly making panels for cars. And yes, in an industrial accident, he had like tips of his fingers cut off. And so that's where his unique sound came from, because he had plastic tips on the ends of his fingers. Well, yeah, there you go. Little bits of trivia. Yeah, I guess I'm putting an asterisk next to that because although the podcaster I heard that from is actually very good at research, so I do actually trust his research because he's quite a good researcher, and he's trained in research. He did university studies and whatnot, so he actually understands the difference between researching and just making shit up. Don't know if you probably can't even tell the difference now, but it already, although it's much darker than I was expecting, the red color in the sweet vermouth and the cherry gin maybe is still in there, but it's much clearer than the first time it went through, even if it's darker than I expected. It is getting clear from the magical clarification process, which I am slightly obsessed with. Not even sure if I have to do that for the Elvis one. Abigail, you're an expert in making shit up. We're all amateurs in making shit up and next to AIDSy. Because most of what he says is real, because he's very well read and gets very into stuff when he researches it. But I catch him occasionally clearly just making shit up. But he says it with that same incredibly confident tone that he uses to say things that are true. So, yes. So it's like kind of like when he's talking about something that I know, and I go, okay, I know he's right. And then every now and then he's talking about something I know, and I know he's wrong. But then he's talking about something, and I'm not sure, but I just like super strongly suspect he's talking crap. Yes, and as you say, Abigail, 70% of statistics are made up on the spot. I don't know who was credited with first saying the line, there are three kinds of lies: lies, damned lies, and statistics. Because there is so much room for error, even when doing statistical research in good faith, but it's absurdly easy to come up with completely bogus statistical results that look legitimate. Like, bad methodology is bad. The classics are use too small a sample group, use leading questions, don't have a diverse enough group of people in the survey. It's just like stupid easy to get the result you want from statistical analysis. Yes, but yeah, that's also the appropriate thing to do. Change the number every time you say how many statistics are made up, because that's the only appropriate thing to do, really. Oh yeah, Shizzy, I like that analogy. AZ's like the kids on the playground. Kids on the playground. Yeah, do you know what I heard about girls? Right? Okay, you're not going to believe this, but girls. And if you sound really believable, people go with it. And Aidsy is very good at sounding believable. And like I said, it's largely because most of the time he knows what he's talking about. Most of the time what he says is true. It's just like if there's a gap in his knowledge or in his recollection, he doesn't let that slow him down, and he'll just smoothly go on to talking utter bullshit, which I suppose we're all guilty of from time to time. But yes, at least Aidsy usually knows what he's talking about, as opposed to the people who clearly don't. All right, there's my urine sample from someone who probably needs to see a urologist. That's bordering on having blood in the urine, that one. I have no idea why I said that, but I did. Can I be bothered to put on a white shirt and make a video tonight? Don't think I can. I think I'll do it tomorrow. I'll make it tomorrow. All right, I finished my juice, though. Ooh, I've got a teeny thing to drink in the fridge, I think. Let's see what that is. Get myself a nice glass. This one. Just a tiny bit of this one left. Still got the coffee cocktail I made. Yes, I know blood in urine is red, but as I said, it's almost there. A little bit of blood in your urine would go that color. Some sort of necrosis is present in the urine. Hey, just got a little bit of this one. God, that's gone a weird color. Sometimes with the clarified drinks, if you keep them in the fridge, they go a weird color. Ow! Ow! That stopper just pinched the skin on my finger. Sorry. Hey, Celtic King, how you doing? I am fine. There was really only a little bit of that one left. I think we've got a big thing of the coffee cocktail in the fridge, which I don't think I really like. Oh my God, that still tastes good though. Fucking hell. I like me a Sazerac. Ooh, very warm. Going down. Just got a little bit of the aniseed from the absinthe going on in there. This is my modern alchemy, Abigail. So I quite enjoy doing this. Yes, Shizzy, I think at the very least, this person who gave this urine sample is very dehydrated. They need to drink more water. They've got to look after themselves. Or was it? There was a really, well, I thought it was a really weird cocktail I saw recommended the other day because it was Scottish Hogmanay, which goes through to the 2nd of January. And there was this drink that the website purported to be traditional among Scots, an Athol Brose. So an Athol Brose is honey, Scotch, oat milk, Drambuie, amaretto, and cream. I was thinking of making it without the oat milk. The oat milk is kind of meant to be reminiscent of porridge. So that's a cocktail for breakfast. Legend has it the Athol Brose was created by the Earl of Athol in 1475 when he was trying to capture Ian MacDonald, Lord of the Isles, leader of a rebellion against the king. Hearing rumours that MacDonald was drawing his drinking water from a small well, the Earl ordered it to be filled with honey, whiskey, and oatmeal. MacDonald lingered at the well, enjoying the concoction, and was captured. That is a fantastically absurd story. I love it. Safa, good evening. What is my beauty? You went to my beauty with some extended family. Is that a movie? I don't know what that is. Geez, why am I such a lightweight? I feel like I had like a little swig of that and I can feel it. I want to do some whiskey experiments, actually. Maybe get someone to do tastings with me. Make some classics and make it with different sorts of whiskey and see how different they taste. Like the same basic recipe, but made with different whiskies. And then make one with a split base. Like instead of just one sort of whiskey, do half-half with two different sort of whiskies and see how different that tastes. Just for fun, really. But it's a little bit hard to organise at the moment. Although I did have Abigail and Annette over at my place on New Year's Eve. Now, because we're kind of surrounded by COVID alert spots, I would tell people to not come over to my place. Now, they haven't actually been in my suburb, but they've been all around. So it's like, let's just not go out. Oh, Mount Beauty, Safa, typo. Oh, well, that sounds nice. Was it a picnic or just sightseeing? Sounds like a nice thing to have done anyway. Might make an Athol Bros without the... I love that story is just absurd. They filled a well with honey, whiskey, and oatmeal, and this guy comes along and thinks he's getting water and goes, don't know what this is, but I mean, if you were expecting to get water from a well and instead got some really weird shit that tasted alcoholic, I would not be drinking it. I mean, call me crazy. I would not be drinking it. I certainly would not be lingering, getting smashed, so my enemies could then come and capture me. It's a great story. Absolutely nonsensical, but I love it. So, yes, that is a wacky story, that one. Yeah, family lunch at Mount Beauty. That actually sounds like a really nice day, Safa. Also, just looking at things that happened on this day. Apparently, the straw was patented on this day. So there you go. The drinking straw was patented on this day. And also, it's like I noted that it was Tolkien's birthday today, but when I was looking through the birthday list on Wikipedia, there's a bunch of notable birthdays today, actually. So something about January 3rd. I mean, I suppose, over the centuries, so many notable people have been born. It's always going to be someone notable's birthday. Is it Scottish breakfast? A Scottish breakfast is Scotch, applejack, maple syrup, cream. Oof. Actually sounds like a pretty good drink, quite honestly. Okay. Was your family lunch disrupted by thunderstorms? That sounds a little bit rough. Thanks, Celtic King. I think it'll be a long time before my birthday's listed on Wikipedia, though. Oh, and Safa, your sister's 20 today. Happy birthday, Safa's sister. You share your birthday with quite a few notables. So what's this zombie recipe? Overproof rum, white rum, aged rum, falernum, pernod, pineapple juice, lime juice, grapefruit juice, grenadine. What other were Don the Beachcomber drinks? 3 dots and a dash. The Fog Cutter, Missionary's Downfall. I like the sound of that. Nui Nui, a Shark's Tooth. Daiquiri, Dr. Funk, a Mai Tai, a Rum Barrel, and a Blue Hawaiian. What's the Missionary's Downfall? I like the sound of that. Mint, white rum, peach schnapps. It's kind of boring, actually. Oh, well. Yes, well, I tell Celtic King the one thing that doesn't work if it's what you're suggesting is trying to spam Wikipedia. I mean, okay, this would be the test. When is PewDiePie's birthday? 24th of October, 1989. He's actually older than I thought he was. He's like 31 now. So I'm going to look. He's the most notable person on YouTube. Does Wikipedia list him in the October 24th birthdays? Events, births. Sybil Thorndike. I know that name. English actor. Raphael. 1910. We're up to now. Tito Gobby. What a great name. Robin J. 29. Let's scoot forward to 89. Ian Baker Finch. B.D. Wong was born in 1960. That motherfucker is 60 years old. Holy God, he's ageless. John Ruddy, Charlie White, Chris Lan, 89. Eric Hos. Oh, no. Okay. PewDiePie is actually listed. So there you go. The most famous of all YouTubers does get his birthday on Wikipedia. Ha! Safa, your mum's got the same birthday as PewDiePie. I'm not sure if we can read anything into that. Hey, Big Pat. Hello. How are you, buddy? Abigail's returned. Welcome back. Just trying to decide if I'm going to make a drink. How's my whole process here going? I think I'll put it through once more. Probably come through. Just once more. Don't know if it's going to make any difference, but that won't hurt. So, once more in the clarification process. And a few drops. What does it taste like? Tastes good. Oh, yeah, tastes good. Looking forward to drinking that one. Right. Now, I probably don't have to put this in the fridge anymore because it's sealed. Just put it back in my drinks cart. Oof. I've got this nice glass. I think I just want to make something with whiskey. What have I got? Trying to think. Might just do an old-fashioned, maybe a split base. This is the wrong glass for an old-fashioned. You almost definitely can. You can see like there's a be out of focus now, but you see there's etching along the lip of the glass there. It says "Drink less, drink better," which I like as a slogan. Make high quality drinks. Don't necessarily be like me on New Year's Eve and just fucking get smashed. But drink higher quality drinks. Ooh, maybe with do a New York sour, a float of that muscat, which is actually probably really heavy and will sink. Whiskey and Mac is a very good one. I like basically an old fashioned with any sort of liqueur as a modifier. I think is a good drink, and Mac does it really well. Because that's basically a Godfather. It's a fairly traditional one, basically an old fashioned with a nut liqueur. Or what's the traditional recipe for a Godfather? The Godfather Cocktail. Yeah, just Scotch and Amaretto. There you go. So yeah, whiskey and Mac is basically a Godfather. I might do it with Dolce, actually. Dolce and Mac. Hey, Salumi, how you going? Oh, yeah. Yes. It's a real bummer that your date bailed out, Salumi. Very disappointing news. More Tolkien facts from Abigail. The staves given to Frodo and Sam by Faramir were made from a wood that grows in Gondor called Lebethron. It is a dark or black and is favoured of Gondorian woodworkers. And the crown of Gondor is kept in a casket of Lebethron wood. Thank you for subscribing to Tolkien Facts. Yeah, I think I'll just make a Mac Godfather with got my rocks glass, gotta put some ice in it. Right. Where's the jigger at? Over here. Over there. It's the same everywhere. Boy cries out for his mama, for he dies for his home. Okay, let's go. Whiskey and let's go Mac. Oh Jesus, I'm just on the verge of having to order some more of this. Don't want to run out. There you go. Never got home. Opportune was never seen. Just rinse my jigger. All right. Just settle in with my Scottish Godfather. Yeah, no, I can see the rejection anxiety too, silly me. Well, yeah, okay, promise it's not just Abigail takes you out for a fun time next time you're in Melbourne, because we know that's on the plan for early this year. So definitely take you out for a distraction. So, my Scottish godfather. Oh, yeah. Oh. Mm. Oh. Oh, and I love the layers of flavor in that. The first thing you actually get is the first thing I taste is the macadamia and wattle seed, and it sort of goes down, and then you get these cascading whiskey flavors. And because it's Starwood's Dolce whiskey. Besides Starwood whiskies just kind of being a bit sort of fuller and fruitier than, say, an American bourbon or even a Scotch whiskey. But because this was matured in or finished in dessert wine casks, it's picked up notes from dessert wine. So it's just like a whole cascade of flavors goes through. Oh yeah, my I think my biggest anxiety is imposter syndrome, like always thinking something's going to go wrong, or like at work, I just keep expecting people to pop up and go, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's useless. Let's fire him. It never happens, but I never stop thinking it. So, and particularly my current job, everything's gone so well, but there's just this like nagging fear I have. That's like, it can't last forever. It's gonna go bad. Oh, Big Pat, your birthday's the same as Michael Jackson's birthday. That's an interesting one. My birthday's one day before Hitler, so there's that. I don't know. I'm saying all the notable birthdays today, because there were a lot of them. We go births. Well, Cicero, famous Roman philosopher, was supposedly born on this day. There you go. Then a whole bunch of people whose names I don't recognize, because I'm not that good at history. Get into the 1900s and I might recognize them. So Tolkien was born in 1892, died in 73. So he was 80. He fucking lived a while. For some reason I thought he died a bit young, but he was 80. Ray Milland. He's a Hollywood guy. Victor Borge. He was a celebrity when I was a kid. What other names did I recognize on here? Probably a bit more recent. Sergio Leone. Yes. Spaghetti Western director. Love Sergio Leone films. Robert Loggia. Ooh, he was in some good movies over the years. American actor. Ooh, Glenn A. Larson, the TV guy, the American TV guy who created the original Battlestar Galactica. It was his birthday, though he's also dead. Blanche d'Alpouge, Australian author and banger of Prime Minister. Bob Hawke. Who else is a famous person I don't know who this is, but I love the name. A Canadian director, producer, and screenwriter called Bruce LaBruce. Bruce of Bruce was born on this day in 1964. Oh, Michael Schumacher, the racing driver, was born on this day in 69. There you go. Bunch of people I don't know, sports people, who gives a shit about lots of sports people. Jesus, it's like 40 sports people in a row. Who gives a shit about sports people? Good God, there was so many sports people in a row. Oh, it's Greta Thunberg's birthday. Happy birthday, Greta. She is 17 today. There you go. Yeah, there are a few names on there, though. Mr. Grant Gregory, change for makes first landing in far side of the moon 2 years ago on this day. Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, right. That was that Chinese launched thingy, wasn't it? Oof. Abigail, your birthday's the same as Indiana Jones's. Nice. Sulumi, God, if COVID isn't as chill as possible by the end of the year, I'll be really fucking pissed off. Oh, yes, they're raspberry drops. Yes. And I have to admit, last time someone I knew went to Sovereign Hill, I got them to get me raspberry drops so I could dissolve them in some vodka and make really yummy raspberry vodka. Ooh la! Abigail, you share a birthday with Jeff Wayne. Nice. He of the concept album War of the Worlds. That's pretty class. All right, now I want to see who I share with. Because like I said, I know I'm the day before Hitler, but I couldn't tell you. Let's go April 19. Okay. 109th day of the year. Did any major events happen on my birthday? Battles, massacres, burning of Derry. Oh, in 1770, Captain James Cook sights the east coast of what is now Australia. That's right. No, it's the shot heard round the world. That was one I remember. April 19, 1775, the first shots fired in the American Revolutionary War. And it begins with an American victory in Concord. But yes, the shot heard round the world, the first shot fired in the American Revolutionary War happened on my birthday. I have to make a cocktail about that when it's near my birthday. So that's an event that's on my birthday. I think that's the... Oh, God, okay. In 1984, Bob Hawke declared Advance Australia Fair was Australia's national anthem and green and gold are the national colours because those things weren't formal. Oh, holy shit. The Simpsons first appeared as a short on the Tracy Ullman show on my birthday in 1987. That's when I was 21. Jesus. There you go. So, okay, now, who do I share? So 2 significant events. The start of the American Revolutionary War and the start of The Simpsons happened on my birthday. So that's not bad. Now, okay, bunch of names I don't recognize. Deaf Smith, that's apparently someone's name. He was an American soldier. Why is he notable? I need to know why Deaf Smith is notable. Earned his nickname due to loss of hearing in childhood. He's in the Texas Revolution, Army of the Republic of Texas. Led Texas Rangers. So he's probably a prick because the Texas Rangers were pricks. There you go. Deaf Smith. Don't think he counts as notable. Well, it doesn't count as someone I care about anyway. Henry Jemison. Come on, there's got to be someone good. Up to 1900 and I haven't spotted anyone who I like the sound of. Share a birthday with. Ugh, 1930 and I still... Dickie Bird! I share it's the English cricketing umpire. Dickie Bird is a funny guy. He's born in 1933 and he's still alive. There you go. Dudley Moore. I share a birthday with Dudley Moore. Good Lord. Okay. Okay, so those are okay. Is there anyone even better up to 1950? And I'm not seeing anyone better yet. Ruby Wax. It's Ruby Wax's birthday. Up to 1960. Oh my God, it's Suge Knight's birthday. He's 1 year older than me. Suge Knight, the murderous co-founder of Death Row Records, probably responsible for Tupac's murder. He would. I was going to say, no one gives a shit what I say. Suge Knight is spiteful enough he would care. Send someone to whack me. Oh, well. Suge Knight's a funny one. But, okay, now we're up to 1970. Kate Hudson? No, they're getting anyone interesting. To 1987. No, that's it. Oh well. One or two notables. Share my birthday. You're really into the fictional birthday sharers. Arwen Undomiel. Oh, sorry, no, you with Liv Tyler. Oh my God, yeah, okay. And Pamela Anderson. There you go. Safi, you can't buy Sovereign Hill raspberry drops at the supermarket. Mr. Grant Gregory touched a boobie for the first time on my birthday years ago. Neat. So why isn't the Aussie passport green and gold? Because that would be ugly as fuck. Passports are serious documents. We don't want silly bloody green and gold passports. I'd be embarrassed to take out a green and gold passport, quite honestly. That would actually be embarrassing to do that at international airports. Oh, that is another thing. I love just like a tiny modifier on whiskey makes it quite different. So I'm thinking, Abigail, next time you come over for tech support, well, if you're into the idea of being on my YouTube channel, I have to do a whiskey tasting. I want to do some comparisons between making some classic cocktails with different whiskies and seeing how different they taste. Hey, Annette, how are you? You'll be pleased to know I'm having a Mac Godfather. One of your faves? Grant, the Brazilian passports are yellow and green. Now I want to see a picture of that. Brazilian passport. No, it's not. It's blue. Brazilian passports are blue. Actually, they seem to offer different colors. Some are red. I think red's a diplomatic passport, in fact. Aussie ASMR. Yeah, I just looked it up. They're actually blue. Oh, nice. Annette. Using sword skewers. I still got this one. I think this one's been sitting out since New Year's Eve. I have to wash it. Now I'll do more garnishes on my cocktails because I actually have the sword skewer. Aussie ASMR. Abigail is, in fact, in the chat this evening. Wrestling Days, Big Pat. You're into the WWE Wrestling Dead on Sunday. What does that mean? I don't follow the wrestling at all. Is that a special event, or did someone die? I don't know. I did see there was a famous wrestler for people who were into such things who died. Oh, Annette, passion fruit mojitos. Nice. That's really tempting, actually. I got some passion fruit liqueur. Mojito. So it's traditionally white rum. Oh, that's the one with all the mint leaves. I thought so. Top it with soda. I made one according to this video. I made one according to this style. It was in a YouTube video where you have to really vigorously stir the mint leaves with sugar for 2 minutes. It's pretty intense. So, Annette, you made yours with rum, lime, passion fruit pulp, lots of mint, little sugars. There's mint in the garden. I should do that one day. I reckon if we get a really hot day, I'm going to make a fucking mojito, just a tall mojito. Got some passion fruit pulp in the freezer, actually. Really good. Probably had enough now. 9:30. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still treating like tomorrow's the school day. It's not a school day for another week. Where did I put my phone? Here's the stage where I'm wondering what the fuck happened to Aidsy. I haven't heard from him since New Year's Eve. Not a peep. Not a little peeperoony. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Nope, no messages. So everyone has their own take on how you do the mint in a drink, whether you do the thing with a slap it or spank it. And this style I saw was quite unique. This guy actually said, you just put a spoon of sugar and a bunch of mint leaves in and stir really vigorously for 2 minutes. So it does pulverize the mint leaves a bit. And then you do the ice, rum, bit of soda. It was fucking good. I think next time it's a really, really hot day, I might do that. Possibly with one of my moonshines instead of rum. School day for you, Kirsten. Back. Wow, why was it so hard for me to finish that sentence? I felt like Max Headroom for a second there, just stuck on the word back. Back to work. I was trying to decide what I was going to say. Back to the salt mines, back to the old grind, back to work. Jesus, when I go back in a week, the first thing I'm going to have to do is, hey, everyone, how you doing? The fuck are we doing? I've literally forgotten everything that was happening. What the fuck are we doing? I'm going to be useless for the first week. It's like, fucking what? Computers? What? How do you use a computer? I'm really confused. When did I become the bloody IT person? Oh, well. Back to the Future Aussie ASMR, we could do that. Oh no, pause over. Ever NBN problems, your sister can't get connected after 4 months. That's kind of bullshit. That's not good at all. We've been watching different things with Mrs. Angry recently, watching Star Trek Discovery. The last episode was quite exciting. I guess you got to feed the beast. New make and make whiskey, yes. I thought the last episode of Discovery was quite exciting. Watched the Doctor Who New Year's special today with the Daleks. It was not bad. It's not bad. Had its moments. We started watching season 2 of His Dark Materials. I quite enjoy that. I never read the books. I know they're based on books. Never read the books. I'm quite enjoying that. Got some weird stuff in it, but I'm quite enjoying it. What else are we watching together? Oh, The Expanse. There must be a new episode of The Expanse live, I think. We'll watch that. I mean, on my own, God, today I was catching up on some Peaky Blinders. I think it's season 4 I'm on, and it's so intense. The Peaky Blinders are vendetta with the Italian mob because they killed an Italian guy a season or 2 ago, and some real hardcore killers have come to get them, and it's really intense. Okay, Annette, His Dark Materials. Are you familiar with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Because it's basically an atheist version of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It's a multiverse story, and the characters you originally start with are in a world where it's like ours, but also very different. There's a theocracy that's one of the dominant powers in the world. And they're really obviously the Catholic Church. They're not called that. They're called the Magisterium. And there are witches in this world, and there are scholars. And it centers on a young girl. Oh, and people, when you get to a certain age, it's like a puberty thing. You end up with an animal. It's like a witch's familiar. They call it a demon, Daemon. And it's part of you. It's inextricably tied to you. But it takes animal form. And it's your constant companion through life. And if you die, your demon dies. If your demon dies, you die. And the Magisterium are like Inquisition-style Catholic Church. And the central character's dad has discovered this thing about like a multiverse, basically. And so I think it's pretty good, actually. Yes, they did attempt to make a movie of. They're obviously going for a franchise, but the first movie bombed, even though it had Daniel Craig in it. It's called The Golden Compass. This is the second season of the TV show. And I'm fairly into it. I like it. So yeah, it's like, magic and science and mysticism and multiverse and all sorts of shenanigans going on in His Dark Materials. And some of it is very dark, actually, particularly, like I said, is the thing of if you kill someone's demon, they die. And there's a couple brutal examples of that. It's basically an atheist version of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Ooh, more Tolkien facts. Arwen Undomio, daughter of Elrond, granddaughter of Galadriel, was 2,700 years old when she met Aragorn, who was in his 20s at the time. They fell in love at first sight. As daughter of Elrond and thus half-elf, she had to make a choice to live as a human or die as an elf. Due to her love for Aragorn, she chose a mortal life. And how... Because Aragorn, being of the Númenórean blood, he lived a long time. How long did Aragorn live? He was 210 when he died. So that means Arwen and... No, actually, I don't know the answer to that. So Arwen was 2,700 years old. That's weird and creepy. That's like falling in love with a baby, essentially. Oh, yes, and you remember Gold Clumps. Yeah, there's some cool stuff with talking animals, like these polar bears and everyone's demon familiar. Yeah, quite enjoy it, honestly. But yeah, watching Peaky Blinders, and this season's so fucking intense. Like, it's not the newest season. They got in Vendetta with the Italian mob, and like, because they kill not a central character, but brother of the lead character in the first episode. So it's sort of setting the stage that, yeah, anyone can die, man. People could die. I mean, the lead doesn't die because there are still a couple seasons after this. But like, it's like every episode finishes with a setup that something terrible is going to happen. It's like, oh my God, now I've got to watch the next episode. And then there's a big shootout, and then that's resolved. And then the next episode also finishes with, looks like someone else is going to get shot. So I was having to watch the next episode. So I watched 3 or 4 episodes today. Pretty intense. Nice. Salumi, dishes are done. You have champagne back at work. Actually, speaking of dishes done and champagne, I might have a little bit of cider before I go to bed. The cider that I will always think of as ham cider, thanks to Abigail. Shortest review, no spoilers, okay? Because Peaky Blinders is definitely getting better. I think I'm in the 3rd season, and there's 5 seasons or something like that. Anyway, it's good. And I mean, honestly, not least, Cillian Murphy has incredible... Woo! Wow, still some bubbles in this cider we opened on New Year's Eve, because I put a fresh stopper in it. Now, speaking of someone needs more hydration, oh God, Annette and Abigail and ham cider. Oh dear. This is what we had at midnight, first midnight. Didn't have champagne. Had a French sparkling cider though. So it's only 4.5% alcohol, so it's pretty mild cider. Oh, Jesus, that's toxic. Let me go to work, pretend you're not dead inside. You've got us for moral support. Don't worry. Or, well, I mean, you've got a good reason to feel bleh. Ah, yes. All the flavors of the delicatessen. Oh, God, the aftertaste is ham. You have messed me up. Oh my God, I think it was, I don't remember if it was Shieldsy or someone sent me a screenshot of the stream just as you fell on your ass on the floor, Annette. And I have to be honest, Abigail and I don't look very supportive. In like we are fucking laughing, which, we're evil. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Shortest review. Cillian Murphy's character they originally wanted to cast Crispin Glover. Crispin Glover, he's much older. Cillian Murphy's just a legend. I don't know if it was you two who put this in my head, but I'm like, cider. No, that's cider. And then it's like, oh my God, the aftertaste is ham. The aftertaste is definitely ham. Oh my God. Do I think the ham cider might have been past its best by? Well, it's alcohol and it was sealed. I did buy it like fucking 5 years ago or something and just never opened it. And this is one of the areas where I'd probably defer to Kirsten as well. I think she's off making some food. I know spirits stop aging once they're in the bottle, if the bottle's sealed. I'm not 100% sure with like ciders or beers because, they're both fermented. Oh, so yes, it's not kosher. I'm sure ham is not an ingredient. It's just there is no mistaking there's a ham aftertaste, which is very weird. Okay, Kirsten, lower ABV, and this is only 4.5% ABV, and I've had it for about 5 years. Doesn't really taste off, although it might explain the ham aftertaste. I don't know. Think what you're looking for? Eggs. I did make some chicken thingies in there. You could microwave them, but yeah, your call. Whatever you're making. Chicken patties, rissoles, whatever you want to call them. Anyway. So, well, I didn't feel sick. Not that I drank much of it. Doesn't really smell off. It's just got it. Okay, Abigail, you did feel a bit sick. Okay. Okay, beer has a 24-month shelf life, so imagine okay. I know it'd go bad with oxygen. Now it's open, but it was sealed for I don't know, somewhere between 3 and 5 years. I don't even remember when I bought it. Bought it for New Year's Eve and then didn't pop the cork. Doesn't smell like it's gone off, but yeah, now you're all putting me off drinking any more of it. But that's okay. So my last little project, it's almost done. It's a very pretty color. I look forward to drinking that another night, actually. Oh, yeah, no, I was ASMR. I bought this before I had a bar, really. It's just like this for New Year's Eve. Yes, Abigail. Yes, I remember. The following day, you were nauseous, dizzy, and dehydrated. It must have been the small glass of cider you had. That is what did it, I think. I should get that stuff out of your way because I'm not even using it, but it's just like sitting there. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've only built up this bar in the last 2 years. Got real serious about it during COVID. I tell you what, like I said, with my little register of what I bought last year is somewhere in the region of 100 bottles. I think it's not quite, but somewhere in the region of 100 bottles last year, and finished about 20 of them. I just remember, did finish one. The overproof gin from Brogan's Way, the Royal Blood gin, that got finished with one of the drinks we made on New Year's Eve. So now I've got my Archie Rose overproof gin. Celtic King, were you on Twitch? Am I becoming the angry alcoholic? If I drank more than 2 or 3 drinks every night, you could raise questions, quite honestly. But given that lots of nights I don't drink any, it's just, I'm sure the medical authorities aren't pleased with the nights where I drink quite a few, like New Year's Eve. But yes, and Abigail definitely didn't feel bad because of all the cocktails. It was definitely the half glass of ham cider that did it. It just kept, once that got in my head, I was what got stuck in my head was Danny DeVito in one of the episodes of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where they went to Jersey Shore and got drunk on the floating, and they had a rum ham and and it got lost and floated away from them. And I just, because we were talking about ham cider, I just was picturing Danny DeVito going, rum ham! TFT, haven't heard from AZ since New Year's Eve. So that's 2 days, I guess. That's not actually that uncommon. I guess it's actually coming on 3 days. But he was with us on and off on a New Year's Eve in fine form. Apparently came back after I went to bed and the after party was happening, and was in peak AIDSy mode for a while. So who knows is the big question. Okay, I don't think I'm going to drink any more of this because now you've all put me off it. Anyway, like I said, I forget how many years ago I bought it, and it was literally, I didn't buy it to drink. I bought it for the pop, and we did that on New Year's Eve finally, so that was worth it. I'm just going to finish this tiny bit. So, yes. So actually, Kirsten, in your professional opinion, this was my other project for this evening. I don't know if you were around when I was talking about it. This is Poitín, Irish unaged spirit, so basically moonshine. It's 50-something% alcohol, and I steeped some lemon peel in it to give it this color and some flavor. And it was sitting in a decanter that's not really tight. It did have a cork in it. It's not really an airtight seal. And I thought there was some sediment in the bottom, and I was like, ooh, that's a bit gross. And so I filtered it. Is that likely to be anything bad? Hey, Stella. Good evening. And good evening, Bobo. And yes, also had a fun New Year's Eve. Those masks just kind of hang around back there. Don't know if I'm ever going to do angry videos again, let alone mask videos. It's around. We shall have to see if I ever get the motivation back. The ABV to start is like 50-something%. And there's no lemon juice, just lemon peel. So, yeah, I steeped lemon peel in it for a day or two and then strained it and put it in a decanter. And, I just noticed it's like a little bit of sediment or something in the bottom. So I just filtered it again. Now it looks nice and clear. Oh, still, you've been listening and lurking while doing dishes. Nice. That's nice. It's most likely flock. What the flock is that? Couldn't resist. What did they say that in one of the Lethal Weapons? As the shepherd said to the sheep, let's get the flock out of here. Yes, Celtic King, but the old school Angry Aussie videos had their day, basically. And I think I mentioned this on the live streams. Basically, maybe I didn't mention it on the live stream, but I was thinking, because of the potential of where I'm going job-wise in the coming year or so, the Angry Aussie channel might actually be a bad idea and may interfere with my job. So I might have to get rid of it. Okay. Oh, oils that come out of suspension. Okay, that makes sense. Yes. Because, yes, there would be quite a bit of citrus oil got absorbed into it. Was the whole thing. I didn't think, but it was just visually not great. So I filtered it, and I've also put it into a Tiny Bear bottle with an airtight seal, so I can feel a bit more confident. It's going to agree. Happy New Year. Came to channel because of varying. I actually remember you telling me that. Yes. Yeah. This is just me. Celtic King, get rid of, as in, at the very least, make the channel private. Because I could just see, like, if I take on a permanent job, particularly if it happens to be something like public service, and then someone finds out about the Angry Aussie stuff, and I have any sort of conflict with them at work, they could easily make a scene about, he makes me feel unsafe because I think he's angry and violent and I can't be around him. And as much fun as the YouTube channel has been, I don't actually want it to fuck up my ability to have a job and earn money. So we shall have to see. Oh, if you're shaking it disappears, nothing to worry about. Well, I didn't even do that. I just filtered it. Just ran it through a coffee filter, and it's completely clear now. And there wasn't any sort of gross residue in the coffee filter. Actually, it's still here. Yeah. That smells interesting. That's really interesting. It smells more like lemon oil than booze. Mm. Oh yeah. So, Grant, I've been giving serious thought to the fact that while I'm considering, do I want to do any of the angry videos again? Might not be a good idea, but we'll see. We'll see. Plus, I'm into the cocktail channel at the moment. I just want the cocktail channel to get big enough that I get sponsorship from booze companies and I get invited to events and I get free things. That's all I want. It'll never earn me as much money as my day job, but I just want the channel to get noticed enough that I get free stuff from booze companies. That's basically my life goal at the moment. I love that. That's a slogan, Mr. Gregory. The age of angry YouTube's done. Booze it up for the win. Yes. But yeah, that's my modest life goal at the moment, is that the cocktail channel takes off to the point that booze companies give me free stuff and I get invited to booze events. Kirsten shares the goal. Yes, it's the way to be. Just want free stuff. It's really funny because it's stuff I can afford to buy anyway, but I just want them to give it to me for free. Modest goals in life. We'll see what happens. Oh, are you going, Grant Gregory? I mean, I'm going in 5 minutes, I guess. Do I have to get up early? Maybe I should take it easy. Ooh, nice. You got sent some tonic water. That is cool. Yes. So that one of the good ones, Cappy, or why has my brain stopped working? Why don't I remember the other good tonic water? I've got some of it just up there. Celtic King started a cocktail channel. Dude, why not? Lots of people are doing it. It's interesting how many have started in the last year, actually. Like the big ones, which is like How to Drink and Cocktail Chemistry and Steve the Bartender in Australia. The big ones have been going for about 5 years, I think. Hey, honey, how you doing? Are you saying Philip DeFranco privated all these videos prior to 2017 because they were like shit and he was shit and his opinions were shit? Or because he sold the rights to something? Oh, it was a new company, Kirsten. Nice. Well, it's interesting to find out new things. So yeah, and I keep getting surprised. I keep finding new ones, which is good. Got to connect. You got to network. That's how to grow. And my channel is showing its first after 10 months, showing its first signs of life. The first signs it's going to take off, which is nice. Just the last month or two, the growth has been really noticeable as opposed to the previous sort of 6 to 8 months. And just nice to see, making me feel a bit better. Because always on Facebook groups for YouTube people and some dingus starting a new channel and they just come straight out with, how do I grow my channel? It's like, well, first make videos that aren't shit because that's probably your primary problem. Except I'm not allowed to say that. People say I'm mean and sarcastic. So I don't say that. So my channel doesn't take off. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Is probably your videos fucking suck, basically. That's the most likely issue. But as I say to people, like if you're talking about starting a YouTube channel, if you aren't prepared to put in the hard yards, and that's like put up new content at least every week, but probably at least multiple times a week for a year without seeing any significant return, then it's not for you because there's only one time in a million that it happens that it's any easier for anyone. Oh, now I'm just playing with my Nerf sniper rifle. So I think there's a friggin' thing stuck in it, is there? It was working, and now I think it's not. Ah! There was a bullet stuck in it. Okay. Cool. I just shot the window with my Nerf gun. Oh, nice, Salumi. You want to do sewing projects this year? Oh, and then start a YouTube channel for historical sewing in Australia. That's a great idea. I rebrand my channel as Inclusive Aussie. I just don't know that I can be bothered doing it. Where did my Nerf bullet go? I just find it bounced somewhere over here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. Oh, smells good in here. Young Ms. Angry just made some scrambled eggs. Smells really good. Although she used the last of the eggs. Gonna have to go to the supermarket tomorrow. Need the staples, eggs and milk and bread. I love this. Someone threw this out. I just got this off the footpath. I'm a scavenger. Where's the thing I got? I haven't used it yet because people are always talking about this is verjuice. This is the juice of unripe grapes. So verjuice made from Chardonnay grapes grown in the cool climate wine region of central Victoria. Verjuice is a mild acidulant used as an alternative to vinegar or lemon juice in dressings, stocks, and a refreshing drink when mixed with sparkling cider. So verjuice, because I'm always putting citrus, lemon juice or lime juice, particularly in cocktails, verjuice is a substitute for that. And I'm always seeing people talking about it in cocktail worlds. And I saw it was actually in the supermarket, in the non-alcoholic wine section. There's verjuice. And I thought, fuck me, I'm getting some verjuice. Because people are always talking about it, but I haven't used it yet. So I have to use it in something. Yes, there we go. Well, that wasn't even hard rubbish. Someone just chucked it on the footpath. And it works. The thing is, I bought bullets for it. But it's so cool. It's got the bipod and the extendable stock. And you've got the loading mechanism. And I'm such a child. See you, Celtic King. But this is the prize gun. And I notice, Annette, you proudly stated your first kill of the season with the bug assault rifle. You fire a little shotgun burst of salt, and if you're close enough to fly, you can kill it without doing any damage to anything. I think I've killed 3 flies now. The hilarious one was when I shot a fly down and knocked it into a spider web. And the spider was, bye, Celtic King. The spider was very excited. And I'm going, you're welcome for the seasoned meal, spider. Spider pal. But I think I've killed 3 flies with my bug assault so far. And I also told some fucking minor birds to piss off today with it. Again, no, it was nowhere near close enough to hurt them or anything. It was just to annoy them and tell them to piss off because they harass the other birds. And when I go out to tell them to piss off, they just fly from the trees. But one was kind of within a few feet of me in a tree branch. So I just fired it up into the tree. And just the noise of little salt granules hitting the leaves made the minor bird fuck off. But I might eventually get them to fuck off because they're fucking rude. Anywho, even though, let me see, what's this doing? I might just leave that there, actually, rather than putting it in the fridge. It's really weird. On the screen, that looks dark, like it's opaque, whereas in real life, it's really clear and it's translucent. It's very rich red, but it looks quite beautiful. It's going to look really nice in a glass, that drink. I know, it's so early. Oh, God, Silumi, you're up 5:36 a.m. Work bag packed. Ooh, that's a nice one, Kirsten. 10 glasses for $1 at a country op shop. Op shops can be very good for glassware, actually. That is a pretty good plan, Silumi, giving yourself time to snooze. That is a rather good plan. It's so early. I'll hang out for a while. My excuse is I want my experiment to be finished. Might even drink some of it, actually. Oh, you've got breakfast ready before you go. Nice. Kirsten's got a 7 a.m. alarm. That's my alarm is when I'm working now is 7 a.m. Because I start at 7:30. And I've got to commute from my bedroom to out here in that half-hour period. I'll normally just do the struggle my way out of bed, little wash my face a bit, put it on social media, and then it's maybe make breakfast, and then it's time to start work. Whereas when I'm working in the office, I have like the alarm set for 6:30, and 6:30 it's like up, shower, dress, out, train, work, get to work between 7:30 and 8. And Abigail, why don't I work in the lounge room? Because, oh, you mean like when I'm working? Because people want to watch TV and shit in the lounge room. So I'm just the reason I don't work in the lounge room is I'm being polite to other people. And I also kind of want to separate my work from my leisure. Like at lunchtime, I step away from the computer and I will, I'll watch an episode of Schitt's Creek or I'll watch something that's half an hour long. I'll watch Schitt's Creek or Brooklyn Nine-Nine or something. Abigail, if you're awake before 5, it's because you've been awake the night before. That's fair. Hot damn, Stella, you got to go up at 5 a.m. 3 alarms to get you up. God damn. That is tough. I don't think I'd cope very well with a 5 a.m. wake up. 6 a.m. is bad enough. I don't even remember. Did I set my alarms for 6 or 6:30? I think it was 6:30 and I just got out the door pretty fucking fast. Like I straight out of bed, shower, dress, go. And I could get to work by 7:30 most days. So you've been sleeping until 7 a.m. So yeah, 6 a.m. is going to suck. Much empathy. That's all I can do. Give you some empathy for having to get up at fucking 6. Gotta wash your hair. See, I haven't been washing my hair. This is how I give my hair body. I don't wash it. It has body. If I wash it, it goes really floppy. Just my hair's really fine. And if it's conditioned, if I condition it, it's really fine and just sits really floppy. Then after a couple of days, it starts to get a bit more body, the oils and whatever build up. So I can actually do something with it. Now it's this long. Oh my God, Stella, you're considering getting up at 4 a.m. so you can walk the dogs. Jesus. God damn, that's dedication. The Music of the Aviator starts at 7. That is again very bold because you'd have to get up well ahead of that. I should rinse this bottle out because I'm going to want it to put that drink in when it finishes filtering. Hello. Doesn't that look pretty? Mrs. Angry agrees my drink looks pretty. It did because it looks opaque. The webcam, I don't know, the lighting's made it look opaque, but it's this translucent red. It's really quite pretty. I think I'm going to put that in a Nick and Nora glass and Instagram it because it looks real nice. And it will make for a good photo anyway, particularly if I put a white background behind it. But are you going to bed now? Or? Yeah, okay. I suppose I was just waiting for this to finish. It's almost finished. It's milk clarification. Just a little bit of sludge in the bottom of the filter. Hot damn, Stella, 12-hour shifts underground. My God. Abigail, I need some argan oil for you. I think I got some beard oil, which I don't use, that says it has argan oil in it. So how much money did I spend on the Metro Trains a month before COVID? Fuck, man, I don't remember. But it's almost $10 a day, isn't it? Let me look it up. Mikey daily fare, daily cap. Is there a daily cap on Mikey? Daily Mikey fare is capped at $6.40. Okay, so it costs me $6.40 a day. So if I'm working 5 days a week, that's 30 what? That's $32? $32 a week. $32 a week. So in 4 weeks, it's going to be $128. Oh, nice. So let me get free public transport, being an essential health worker. Nice. Yeah, so it costs too much. Public transport, you know what it should be? It should be a tax deduction for businesses. And I wouldn't even care if it was like 120% or 150% tax deduction. If they paid for like Mikey tickets for their staff and then they could write it off on tax, I actually think that would be a good thing. I'd back that. As I'm not really into corporate welfare, but I would back that as a tax write-off for businesses. Businesses gave their staff like yearly Mikey cards and were able to write it off on tax. I think that would be a fucking awesome thing. We need to promote public transport over private transport. I'm just going to rinse this. Gotta put it in there. Put it in and shake it around a bit. Get all the foamy residue from my milk clarification. It's like a little. What the hell's that noise? It's like a little quirk of the milk clarification process, or a bonus, depending how you look at it, is whey gets added, like, because the milk separates into curds and whey. The curds do the filtering, and the whey is added to the drink, so it dilutes the drink a little. But also, whey foams up when you shake it. So if you make a milk clarified drink, you get that really clarifying. But if you put it in a cocktail shaker, shake it really hard, and you get a little foamy top, which can look really good. Like this. This might look good with a foamy top, actually. Yeah, that's just about it. All right, wo ist ein Filter? I'm gonna put it in this little bottle. Little funnel in there. Now, this is possibly more than will fit in this bottle, in which case I'll just have to, oh no, it's gonna, oof, there's just a tiny bit to drink in there. It's very fruity. Kirsten, husband is still on holiday, going to drive to work because he doesn't want to catch buses. Well, that's really nice of him. And I also concur with him, thinking public transport is a bad idea, additional risk. So there's my little red beverage. I think tomorrow I'll put that in a nice glass and take a Instagrammy photo of it to go, ooh yeah, look at my sexy cocktail. Musicator, your team hasn't put their return to office strategy in yet. My workplace has started. It's going to be months before I go back to the office. They're initially, some people to the low-risk work venues, and then the people who really want to go. And then I think for the foreseeable future, the most advanced it's going to get is like a 50% on, 50% off thing. Like you go to work half the week. But there are some people who, for any number of reasons, want to go back to the office. I suspect in many cases they're either living alone or have a shitty home life. And so it's driving them a bit crazy to be at home and not be around other people. Whereas I have a really nice home life, and I fucking love being at home. So I'm going to leave it real late to go to just a tiny bit in here. I'm going to have a little taste of this. Put it on an ice cube, chill it a little bit. Just the teeniest taste of it. Have a proper taste of it tomorrow night. Here we go. Oh, that is, oh man, that's pretty good. This is basically gin. Well, yeah, it really tastes like gin. Gin and sweet vermouth. And the base cocktail I made, which is the one I made last night, is slow gin, or in my case, I used Anthur's cherry gin, and then normal gin and sweet vermouth and a few dashes of bitters. And so I made it again, and then to beef it up a bit to make it worthwhile to go through that whole fucking rigmarole of milk clarification, I doubled it up and I put some overproof gin in and some more gin. I just put a heap more gin in. So this is a very gin forward drink at the moment. I mean, I suppose this is like a slow gin martini now, actually. Oh, it's fucking good. Kirsten, you just get to Melbourne, which is, hopefully sometime soon. I will make you one of these. I think you would like it. It's basically a slow gin martini. The gin is really coming through. It's really quite nice. Yeah, I mean, because it's sweet vermouth, it's kind of like a gin Manhattan, I guess. Kirsten, no, that is a promise. That was not a casual, not meaning it thing. I think you would really like this. So I need a day or so's warning to make some of this up. But yes, you just beef it up. This is a beefed up version of the Blackthorn. I didn't add so much. I don't even remember if I added any extra of the sweet vermouth. I actually put some of this in it as well. And because I realized I made this and then hadn't used it, and I thought this would be nice. But the gin taste has really come through. So it's basically like a slow gin martini. Just a little bit of the vermouth taste in there. It's mostly gin. And it's lightened a bit by the clarification process. But yeah, because I put some overproof gin in there. So there's a little bit of punch in there. Stella not excited for work. A shit show. You'll have to clean up other people's messes since you've been on holiday. Oof. Silly me is excited to see work, fam. Yeah, I'll be back in the thick of it in another week. I'm taking one more week off because it's the first proper break I had in a year. Like, I started in this job before Christmas 2019 and then didn't take any breaks apart from public. Didn't take any sick days because I didn't get sick because I wasn't around other people. Didn't get a cold. Didn't get sick all winter. So I didn't have any sick days, and so I had the public holidays, of course, but so I didn't have any proper break all year. So it's just like, yep, fuck it, taking 3 weeks off now. Happened to coincide with me getting tax return check, which was nice. Oh, Kirsten, the Anther Cherry is great. Looking for putting my video up tomorrow of the Blackthorn cocktail I made with that's a mix of the Anther Cherry and Teddy and the Fox. Just basically showing off, these are things I bought for myself. These are my Christmas presents to myself. So, Shane, I'm very nice to myself. I buy myself nice things. So that's going live tomorrow. So talk up the Anther Cherry. It's very tasty. They were all good. Like, I say this in the video. I did the tasting at Anther and the tasting at the Bellarine Distillery, and they were all good. And but I bought the ones that were the most different. At Anther, their cherry was the most different, and at Bellarine, their Teddy and the Fox was the most different. It's very citrusy, and like really noticeably citrusy, the Teddy and the Fox, which is quite good. But I mean, they're all good. Like, and in both tastings, we did have their Navy Strength, their overproof gins, which we go strong. But with tonic, the Navy Strength gins go so well with tonic because the gin punch still comes through, but the tonic tames a bit. More Tolkien facts from Abigail and Callaghan, and Callaghan the Black. And Callaghan was the mightiest of Morgoth's winged dragons, loosed from Angband against the host of Valar at the end of the War of Wrath. Even that mighty army was driven back by the onset of Ancalagon and his vassals, but Eärendil came through the sky in his ship Vingalot to do battle with the Dragon Armada, and he was aided by Thorondor and the Eagles. They fought for 24 hours until Eärendil at last slew Ancaligan, who fell on the mountains at Thangorodrim and destroyed them in his ruin. Yes. In short, a lot of the stuff in the Silmarillion is bleak as fuck. Like, a lot of stuff goes wrong. A lot of stuff gets destroyed. A lot of heroes get killed. Abigail, I don't know if you've read any of the Flogging a Dead Horse publications, where it's like Christopher Tolkien's ended up publishing stuff that was just bits and scraps from notebooks of Tolkien's, because the Silmarillion was not really finished, was published after his death, after being put together by his son Christopher, and then a good decade later, published Unfinished Tales, which I used to have, and I thought it was good, and I loaned it to someone and never fucking saw it again, and it was a fucking hardcover and everything. So I was a bit pissed off about that. But then he published a whole bunch of books in the last couple of decades, and I read one or two of them. They were kind of shit. And they were depressing as fuck. There's just these stories that were full of incest and death and depression. It was fucking weird. I did not get into those at all. And I don't think any of them were particularly bestsellers either. So what do I think of the recent Microsoft hack? I am not aware of the recent Microsoft hack. I don't know the scope of it. But I think I'm going to go to bed. So Lumi's toothbrush and floss, skincare done, ready to sign off. Okay, we'll do it 10 minutes, 10:30. 10:30 will be sign-off time. We'll be responsible adults. A little bit more of the drink has dripped through. Yep, that definitely tastes like a sweet gin martini. It's fucking good. Okay. It's also it is a pretty spectacular color. Gotta love the color. Look very elegant in a nice glass. As you will see if you follow my socials tomorrow, I shall post a picture. Yes, making routines is good, Salumi. I like that. That is a very, very, very good idea. All right, I'm not drinking any more of this. You've put me off the ham cider, okay? So I'm not drinking any more of that. I'm going to tip that. It served its purpose of being a cork popping at midnight on New Year's Eve. That's all I really wanted it to. Yes. Oh, Salumi, so get lost in perpetual scrolling, doom scrolling the socials and games, yeah. I got seriously into watching TV today. I watched a couple of episodes of Schitt's Creek, which is such a sweet show. I think I'm up to season 4 of that. There's 6 seasons altogether of Schitt's Creek, and watched a couple episodes of Peaky Blinders, which is super fucking intense, yeah, very intense season of Peaky Blinders, which I'm really into. So getting into a few other things as well. Actually, and I watched Doctor Who today as well. So I watched a lot of TV today. About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least fucking hell. I think I watched at least 5 hours of TV today. That's a lot. That is a lot. I very rarely watch more than 2 hours. But well, I saw you post a thing from Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day. I still haven't seen that. I was kind of meant to watch that at some point, but I am yet to see Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day. I like the lead in that. Frances McDormand. She's very good. Honey, I've been watching Star Trek Discovery. Watched the new episode on Friday. That was pretty intense as well. Yes, Abigail, you can watch the new Doctor Who on iView. It's a Dalek story. Captain Jack returns. It's not bad. So yes, my viewing is divided into things I watch with Mrs. Angry and things I watch on my own. It was like Doctor Who, Star Trek Discovery, The Expanse, His Dark Materials. They're all some of the things currently watching with Mrs. Angry, and things I watch on my own, and that includes things like Peaky Blinders and Schitt's Creek and Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Rake and Ozark and a few others. So yes, it's kind of that split in the viewing. Stuff I watch with Mrs. Angry because it's stuff we're both into, and then stuff I just watch on my own. So yes. Oh yeah, maybe I actually watched a couple of episodes of Cobra Kai when it was just on YouTube Premium. And I thought, oh, that's kind of cute. And now it's taken on a whole new life of its own. Now it's on Netflix. So yeah, I haven't got into Sabrina, although it looks pretty cool. But yes, The Expanse, Star Trek Disco. Like I said, we're also watching His Dark Materials. A few other things. Yeah, assuming it's stuff to watch while doing sewing project. I've taken to as when I've got to do something in the kitchen. Okay, I'm going to do this in the morning again. Got to clean up the kitchen a bit. Got to unpack the dishwasher and repack the dishwasher. Organize things because it's a bit. You're only seeing Abigail and Annette can vouch for this. You're only seeing this little section here. Over there, it's a little bit chaotic. So I've got to clean up the kitchen a bit. I take to putting the headphones in and listening to a podcast or music while I do that. Makes the time go faster. So let me see. The dating attempts, I don't know. Maybe Adelaide's just shit for dating because if anyone knew what they'd be getting with you, they would date you. So I'm just going to say Adelaide. The Adelaide dating scene is the problem. It's like, holy Christ, am I glad I don't have to date? I would be a fucking disaster. Like, all I think, like, all those years ago when last time I was dating and I met Mrs. Angry, is like, I think she just took pity on me. It's, oh my God, this. And even like her mum was visiting because her mum lived in England, but she was visiting at the time when I started dating Mrs. Angry. And, when I asked, what was he like? And he's kind of talked a lot. And his mum said, oh, I bet he was just nervous. And I went, oh, yeah, I was. Fucking nervous as hell. Well spotted, mother-in-law. But yes, somehow Mrs. Angry took pity on me because, like, when we went for first proper date, I went, ooh, let's go and see this movie. Like, I got tickets to see this movie through work, and it sounds cool. It's got Don Cheadle in it. He's good. And it was a serious film. It was Hotel Rwanda. It was a movie about the Rwandan genocide, and that was my idea of a fucking date. And it's oh man, it is a fucking dark movie. As you would feel, a movie about the Rwandan genocide, probably pretty dark. And I was sitting in the dark watching this movie where it just gets worse and worse. Worse things happen. Just worse things happen, and then even worse things happen, and then much worse things happen. And I'm sitting there in the dark going, oh my fucking God, what was I thinking? What the fuck was I thinking? And somehow, though, I pulled through. And it became a running joke. Like, we'd take turns picking date movies, and Mrs. Angry's picks would always be better, and mine would always be something fucking bleak. And I'm like, oh my God, I am so bad at picking date movies. So if you want the Mandalorian expanded universe shows, it's like, is it Star Wars? Is it 5 or 6 new Star Wars series coming on Disney Plus this year? Besides the Mandalorian, there's the Book of Boba Fett, which is a direct spin-off. The one about that Jedi, I've forgotten her name, but she gets her own spin-off. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show is supposed to be on this year. There's another spin-off that's meant to be about the Marshals of the Frontier. And then there's an animated one called, was it The Wrong Bunch or something? But it actually looked cool. So it's like 5 or 6. Thank you, Music Elevator. Ashoka. Yeah. It's like 5 or 6 Star Wars series this year, which is wild. But, high hopes. You know what I liked about Boba Fett coming into The Mandalorian? Because that's it, the Bad Batch. Thank you, Music Elevator. Because, Boba Fett was a bad guy, right? Because he was a bounty hunter who caught Han Solo, and he got killed and stuff because he's working for the Jedi. So Boba Fett is bad. And because he's the son, and with the prequels, he's the son of Jango Fett, who's bad. And but then Mandalorian comes on, and we're all empathizing with Mandalorian, but he's a fucking bounty hunter, and he fucking kills people for money, and sometimes it's just for debts. But he's like our guy, and then Boba Fett comes on, and you're kind of like, Boba Fett's no worse than the Mandalorian. He's like, he was just a bounty hunter. And it's like the reclamation of Boba Fett. And I just suddenly realized what they're doing. They're like, yeah, Boba Fett was the bad guy and Mando is good, but they're the fucking same. They are just the same. And also, Temuera Morrison, fucking awesome. He's so good. And so he gets his own show with Ming Na as his sidekick, taking over the Hutt Palace. So I really liked that sort of reclaiming of Boba Fett. Like, Boba Fett's not bad. He's a bounty hunter. He's amoral. But so was Mando. Mando is a fucking killer. But we love Mando because he looks after Baby Yoda. And so Boba Fett gets to sort of reclaim his image. Ashoka has her own series. There's an Obi-Wan Kenobi series. There's the Bad Batch, which kind of looked cool. I saw the trailer for that. So much Star Wars. We'll see if they fuck it up, or if they're all good, or if some of them are good, or who knows. Anywho, look, it's 10:30 now. I'm going to go to bed now. Thank you, fine people, for spending a bit of time for me. It has, as always, been fabulous. Back tomorrow. We'll be making a video tomorrow night, and I haven't actually decided what it will be. So that's a little bit of fun to go on with. So see you fabulous people another time. I'm going to bed. I plan to be back tomorrow evening. Take care of yourself.